I had to do one more. I had to do one live here. One more. Just just the one. I had to do that. I just thought it'd be fun. To get a quick half hour, set up the live, and I set it up wrong, by the way, as well. Didn't have a chance to properly set it up. It was kind of I wouldn't say spur of the moment, but I kind of almost forgot I was doing it. And then I was like, crap, now I need to fix a few little bits and pieces here and there, and then we'll be good to go. So we get a few people locked in. It's saying I'm live, but then it's not showing. Oh, there we go. Let's see how it sounds. Yep, we are good. We are all good in the hood. And yeah, so, lads, we can talk about Deontay Wilder. It's not going to be a long live. We're looking at probably about a half-ish hour. Probably about a half hour, 40 minutes. Probably about a half hour, 40 minutes. And because someone asked me before, I'm going to pop the comments on the screen. Just this once. Make Wilder versus Whyte, loser leaves town. And good evening, Gman. Do you know what, right? I've always felt Wilder beats Dillian Whyte. Always. Until now. And even though Dillian Whyte is punch resistance is gonzo, I've no faith in Wilder to speak of whatsoever. Big up to Benn. Is it the last before the move? Mate, 4 o'clock my flight is tomorrow evening. 4 o'clock, and I will be home in a couple of weeks because I'm not going to get everything. Do you know what the thing is, right? So much of the work equipment that I have to bring, like monitors, laptops and stuff, is taken up, and I mean it's taken up a big chunk in the suitcase. A big chunk. That I'm like, I almost swore there. I'm like, crap, I need to come and get more. I need to come home and get the rest of my things because I'll never be able to fit it all. I honestly would. I would pick Dillian Whyte as well at this point. I genuinely would. Long time so, very proud of the decision. Gman, London will benefit you. Trust me. I'm hoping, mate. It is a look. I'm looking forward to it. I definitely am. I'm really excited. But at the same time, you know, I've been out with my friends the last couple of days, and one of my friends, he's actually due twins in November, and he will be he is the first actually one of my friends to have kids. And it's weird because like we went out last weekend, we were out yesterday as well. We didn't go out, we just went for a beer together, and it was kind of like, oh, you know, when it kind of hits you, you're like, oh, I'm going to be missing a lot of stuff, but at the same time, it's something I need to do. I need to do it, and if I don't do it now, I'm going to regret this the rest of my life. I know I will, because if I don't do it now, I never will, and I will 110% regret it the rest of my life. 110%. So it was kind of like, well, there was like, it's kind of like crap, you know. I'm missing out on a few bits and pieces here, but listen, I can always come home. It doesn't take me long to get from London to Ireland. It'd be nice to see you hit 20k. I'm about 95 off that, mate. So we're not going to do it today unless something bizarre happens. But 20k is coming, man, to be honest with you. And I think the fact that I'm going to hit it so early, I kind of feel like, not in a weird way, I'm not hyper. See, when I was on 9,000 and trying to get 10k, it just felt like everything was taking a while. With this one, it's kind of like, I'm obviously I want to hit 20k, but I'm not as, I don't say worked up about it as I was with 10k, because I was just like, please, 10k. This one is kind of more like, you know, it's all right. It should be Wilder versus Whyte. Their history would make a great build-up and it'll motivate them. It probably would, to be fair. In fact, actually, maybe Dillian Whyte is what Deontay Wilder needs. Someone who's going to set him off so much, you know, with whatever he says. Big up, live, big up. Yes, LS Vlogs, welcome to London, bro. Cheers, mate. I'm looking forward to it, man. Looking forward to it. I did. And I've just recorded review of the week. And I didn't say stick a fork in him in that video, but I kind of hinted at it, and that's kind of what I'm thinking, stick a fork in him. Which fights do you reckon might occur in the undercard of Usyk Fury? I'm gonna stick my neck out and say that Moses Atelma will fight Solomon Dakis before Fury-Usyk. Depending on how that fight goes, now I expect Atelma to win, but depending on how easy it is, and to be honest, I think it could be pretty damn easy for Atelma. I would expect to see him in there against maybe not necessarily Joe Joyce. Maybe Joyce's ego wouldn't allow it to be kind of, that far of a fall from grace. But I would expect to see him in there against someone of that level. So a Telma on the undercard. Then it becomes more a mystery. On paper, it was a good card. It was a good undercard on paper, the Fury-Usyk one. But the first fight in May. But I know a lot of people were kind of like, it's not that great. I was like, no, it is. It's just not as good as some of the other Riyadh season shows. But the actual undercard, it didn't just excel, it over-excelled because it was brilliant. It exceeded expectations, and then it was brilliant. So I reckon it could be something like that. It wouldn't shock me if Kikache is maybe on there again, if he beats Josh Warrington, maybe fighting Lee Wood. It wouldn't even shock me if they did that. What's up, Gman? Much love from Texas. Big up, man. Big up to Texas. Big up, G-Man. What's your thoughts on Bam Rodriguez becoming one of my favourite fighters? Yeah, I like him. He's a good kid. Met him at the face-off for Sonny Edwards. And I like him. Very shy, very reserved type of character. Doesn't really speak to anybody. But believe me, he's in the ring, man. He is boom. Boom. What do you think is next for Guido Villano? I'm amazed. I remember seeing him in the bubble a few years ago on the undercard of Zepeda versus Baranchek, and I thought he looked crap. Simple as just thought this guy's going nowhere. And I was like, he's not going to go anywhere. And lately, even in the loss to a Jack, I'm like, where has this guy come from? So he could definitely, there could be some good things in his future. Well, let's wait and see. Welcome to the UK. I moved from Dublin to London 15 years ago and never regretted it. There you go, man. I'm hoping to be saying the same. I don't know. Part of me does want to settle back down in Ireland. Part of me does. Then there's another part of me that doesn't. So we'll have to wait and see. There's no use planning like what you're going to be doing in a few years because I didn't plan on moving until a couple of years ago. So man, it's a strange one. Wilder should aim for Opataya and give on the heavyweight business. He's outweighed and outgunned by all the top guys. I don't think it would get any easier at cruiserweight, to be honest with you. And I don't think he'd even make cruiserweight. Yeah, I think Whyte would be favourite too. At this point anyway, I'd be giving Whyte 100%. I'd be making him favourite. I would as well. Hope you're well, mate. That uppercut was a good uppercut, man. Bentley looked good last night. I hope he goes on a good run. I was saying it in Review of the Week that Bentley is one of those guys where when everything works well, when he puts it all together, he looks so good and so talented. And he is very good and very talented. He absolutely is. But then he has those performances like against Nathan Haney, where you're just like, what the hell was that? And then he's had other performances like even in wins where you've looked and you've been like, not great. So, I hope he is able to just solely focus on his career because I think there's a good couple of wins in him. Do you know what I would do? And I would do it. I think it's a risk worth taking. I would do a rematch with Felix Cash. I would do it because I actually thought Bentley would win that fight. And I think that Felix Cash is someone who, if it was fair, and I'm not making any accusations, but that's just something that I'm thinking. If it was fair, I think, could have went different. And again, that's not me here. I'm just, he went from knocking people out to doing nothing. Big up G-Man, hope all is well. It's all good, man. 286 Project. How are you, my friend? I hope you're keeping well. All good. Wilder is washed. He absolutely is. I never thought I would be picking Dillian Whyte to beat him. but I would be picking Dillian Whyte now. Don't Wilder and Miller have some issues in the past? Yeah, they could, and Miller has really redeemed himself almost. Not redeemed himself in the eyes of myself and others, but a lot of fans are really sympathising with him now and saying, all right, even in defeat to Daniel Dubois, he tried, and I thought he was very hard done by against Andy Ruiz. I thought he won that fight pretty damn convincingly. Makimov was always slow and stiff, never understood why YouTubers hyped him. I thought that he genuinely, the physical strength and punching power would give fighters problems, but boy, was I wrong. Oh boy, what was I thinking? I guess we focus, when really big, because we can't doubt, there's no doubt, he is a big puncher. And I guess some of us definitely, I certainly have been victim of doing it in the past, hyper-focusing on punching power. What's your view on Wardley Clark going to Saudi Arabia rather than the British title being defended in Britain? Well, it's not the first time it's happened. You know, Fabio Wardley won the British title in Saudi Arabia when he beat, it was vacant, wasn't it, when he beat David Adelaide? So it's not the first time it's happened. Yeah, like it should be defended. It's the British title. Britain is, you know, Northern Ireland is technically part of Britain. Wales, Scotland, and England. If it's defended in those territories, it's a British title fight. If it's defended in Saudi Arabia, Saudi Arabia's not even in Europe. You know, it's just like, what? So, yeah, I would rather see it be defended in the UK. That is what that is. And I think someone asked me earlier my thoughts on the Fury-Usyk undercard. I reckon there's a good chance. If it doesn't fall on that show, it falls on a Riyadh season show. There's a very good chance it does. I would say out of those three fights, probably the most entertaining might be the Whyte fight in a lot of ways. From what I seen last night, I wouldn't put Johnny Fisher in with him. Not right now, anyway. I'd love to see Moses smoke Adelaide, if not Fraser Clark. Adelaide talks too much. Yeah, I certainly fell a bit for Adelaide. I thought he would beat Fabio Wardley. Boy, was I wrong. Boy, did I ever get that one wrong. What are we saying here? Atema versus Magomov could work on the undercard of Fury-Usyk. Also, no word on who Kabayel is fighting next. Yeah, it's a strange one because he's definitely earned himself a big fight. There's actually a very good point. There's no word on who he's fighting. I wonder. The Saudis obviously put him on those shows. I'm thinking as a kind of a, you'll get beat, and then he's beaten both those guys, and Frank Sanchez and Arsenal Bekmambetov. He's due a big fight. Would they do Joseph Parker? But I can't see the fans really getting into that fight. Will I go? I will be. Well, see, here's the thing, right? Yes and no. I will be, but it'll need to make sense. So I'll give you an example, right? It would make no sense for me, even though I probably could get the media pass for Joshua versus Dubois. It would make no sense for me to go to that fight because I'd make way more money doing a live watch along and reviewing it than I would going to it. Whereas the show last night, I would have went to that, no problem. I'll go to most Matchroom and Queensbury shows. I'll go to the majority, but the really big fights, for me, it actually, from a financial point of view, makes way more sense to do them here and do the watch along and do everything. From a financial point of view, it's night and day. Like, it is genuinely night and day from that point of view. So I will be going to as many as I can, but I would say kind of for the pay-per-view and the really big events that aren't sometimes on pay-per-view, it will be beneficial to just do a watch along and a review as opposed to going to them. But I'll be going to as many as I can. As many press conferences, many Riyadh season kickoffs. I will be hoping to travel up and down the country. You know, if there's a DAZN show in Newcastle, not that there would be, but you know what I mean. If there was, I would hope to go to it if it was whoever. So that is the plan, man. That is the plan, and it's going to be good fun. Feel like Boxer have better shows now, but their future stars, Azim, Riley, and Whitaker, don't fight anywhere near as often. Yeah, they've improved. They certainly have the Boxer shows, and I give credit to Ben Shalom. It's badly needed. certainly, but they're definitely improving, and credit to them. Yeah, Malik Scott is not the guy. I'm just trying to think who is. He needs a fiery character to urge him. Malik Scott just isn't that. Yeah, but Cody versus Zhang would be epic. I can just see, has no sharpness, no defense anymore. I can see it as well. And I think Dillian Whyte, I always said if he got even partially clipped by that right hand, it'd be done. But now Wilder just won't throw the flipping thing. That'd be a good scrap, actually. That'd be a very good scrap, actually. Caballero Bacoli. Well, judging by Turkey Al-Sheikh, he seems more keen on doing the other fight, the Bacoli versus Zhang fight. So I don't know what way that's going to be. They'll have to get Parker, but Parker Caballero, I can't see fans really warm into that fight. Even Prime Wilder was trash like he is right now. I always thought Prime Wilder was decent. He was never going to set the world alight. But that power gave him the equalizer. And I probably would even still go with Joe Joyce, to be honest with you. I like Tyler Denny. I think he's a credit to himself, but he's getting KO'd by Hunter Shearis, in my opinion, definitely. Yeah, Ruiz did throw his career away. Tremendously talented, who was consistently inactive and consistently out of shape. It's a what-if story, you know. It's if he'd have taken his career more serious, if he came in better shape, if he hadn't have just let the Joshua win go to his head. You know, Andy Ruiz, we could be talking about him as being a multiple-time world champion. He could be still in with the likes of Fury-Usyk. He could be getting these Saudi shows more regularly. He's not. It's his own fault. I've no sympathy for him. You know, it's just he knows what he needs to do and he's not done it. It's as simple as that. So whenever it comes to fighters, stuff like that, nah. Yes, Northern Ireland is in the UK, not Britain. Well, he was meant to fight Solomon Dakis, but he pulled out. When will you do AJ versus Dubois prediction? Soon, probably just before fight week. But I'm going to work on a little kind of documentary type video beforehand, and it's pretty much going to it'll give it away, so to speak. Reckon Dream will make, fight week is normally the best time to do them. You kind of hit in with peak viewage on fight week. You can do them a little bit before it, but you want to do a fight week, peak view. Do you think the Saudis having Riyadh season fights around the world, but the big fight still in Saudi solves the atmosphere complaint? Yeah, it does. Like, you know, it's like, well, what would you rather? Would you rather not have the big fights, but in a dead atmosphere? Would you rather not have the fights at all, but have them in a dead atmosphere? I'd rather have them. If the atmosphere is not great, and it's not great, but it just, it does the job. Is it possible with Turkey saying undercards depend on Wembley cards that AJ fights on the Usyk card? I feel he would have gone from being very active to just waiting for Fury again, if not. That's a good point, actually. Would AJ really... Because AJ hasn't fought in an undercard in years and years and years. Might have been one of Kell Brook's world title fights was when he was last an undercard fighter, so it's nearly a decade ago. So would AJ actually be willing to go and step into that role? I do watch UFC, but not enough to do reviews on it, unfortunately. Because I do like UFC, I love MMA, but just not enough to do reviews on it. Yeah, Caballero is very sneaky. Caballero is a very good fighter. I've been not giving him enough credit in the past, thinking he's just a bit of a mover. No, he was a mover, but now he's a lot more active and he's letting some good shots go. I'm a big fan of the fights, but it's a rare card that makes me want to be in an arena over watching at home. Yeah, well, I think for me, like, I'd love to go. Look, I'll try and get to the press conference for the Joshua fight, but I need to be doing something for those fights myself, 110%. Zhang versus Bacoli should be co-main for Beterbiev versus Bivol. That'd be actually a really, really good one, actually. I'm seriously worried we may not. I'm seriously worried we may not Anthony Yarde for ages. You mean see Anthony Yarde for ages? What a waste. You know, I can't give too much sympathy for Anthony Yarde because he's a big boy. He should know himself that him getting into this dispute with Frank Warren and wanting to do this is a bad idea, especially when Warren is the guy with Saudi. He's a big boy. He should be able to tell the people around him no. If he thinks it's a bad idea, just tell him that. He's partially done this and he's inactive. He's missing out on these big shows. He's missing out on big fights, and he's only himself to blame, I'm afraid. And big up to Team Batman every single time, man. How are you doing, my friend? I hope you're keeping well. Oh, Hergovich, definitely. I don't think he can become undisputed. I think that Nicky Ball, he'll probably start to decline in the next 2 to 3 years. That style has a shelf life, and he will look a jaded fighter in the next 2 to 3 years. But enjoy him while we have him. That's what I will say. Talking Shakur versus Cordina, I want Tank versus Shakur. I'm not really interested in Cordina versus Shakur. I said I'd only really watch Shakur if he's in big fights. I probably would watch him against Cordina, to be fair, but it doesn't do anything. You know, Shakur is a hard watch. Is a flipping hard watch. And I think I've reviewed maybe one of his fights in the history of this channel because they are such a hard watch that you're just like, I don't know if I can sit through a 12-round UD of nothing happening. I wouldn't be shocked if she did retire. Yeah, I'd say Kate Taylor's got one foot out the door. Do you reckon that she can make... tough one, man. He possibly can, but PBC, Tank, I don't know, man. That's the stumbling block there. That's the big stumbling one there. Gman, keep smashing it, bro. The consistency is mad. Love the channel. Consistency, man, is what it takes. It's 110%. That's why I will, as soon as I touch down tomorrow, I'm going to get the lay of the land and just be like, right, is it better to go on camera still? Will I do an audio for the next couple of days or whatever till I get it? But we're straight back into vids. Like, this is my life, man. It really is, man. G-Man, you had a good regular phrase in the last live stream. Hang on a second. You had a really good phase of regular streams last year. You definitely streamed less this year, but I appreciate that you have a life. Yeah, I don't think I did that many lives last year, to be honest with you, though. I think 21 and 22 was kind of live stream central on here. And I think now I kind of bring them out for the big fights in the aftermath, but I don't do them as regularly now. And again, we need to see what it's like over in the UK. If I'll be able to do them, I will. If not, look, they'll become a little bit more sporadic. If Cordina does fight Shakur, I wouldn't mind seeing. I doubt they'll do Zepeda versus Noakes, but that'd be epic if they did. Wilder is shot. Yeah, he is. Do I think Oreo could do well anything as a pro? Yeah, he's not bad. He's not bad, Oreo, now, to be fair, but Ori, I shouldn't say Oreo, Delicious Ori. I always call him Delicious Oreo for some reason. But yeah, he's not a bad fighter, but I don't know. His ceiling, I think he's got a higher ceiling than Fraser Clark, though, for me. Not the pocket watch, but rent in London must be pricey. You get no value for money. You really don't. But listen, I'm looking at it as an investment for the time being. And that's how I'm seeing it, man. Just as an investment for the time being. You want to see that fight? I don't know. I'm thinking that style could have some problems there for the fans anyway. Yarde moving up to cruiserweight apparently. See, Yarde is not the biggest. Like, he's not the biggest in terms of height. I don't know how that's going to work at cruiser, but he might have a better chance. In fact, actually, probably does stand a better chance of actually winning the world title at cruiserweight. But saying that, it's not like going from 160 to 168 pounds, 8 pounds. 25 pounds is no joke. It's no joke. I hope so, man. I'm hoping so. We've talked about potentially doing that, but we haven't talked about that in about a month or so. But we've talked about doing more content together. I hope we will. I'm sure he hopes we will. It's just about time-wise. Obviously, well, actually, we're both free in the evening, so it shouldn't be a problem. But look, we'll talk about that when we get over there. But yeah, look, that's the hope, man. We'd love to do some more content together. I'd even have him on mine a little bit more often. I know people who watch me and that, I love it when we do content together. I've seen people comment even now and say, like, on Addy's videos, and say, when are you and Gman doing vids again next? And listen, we got into something good, we looked into something, and let's make the most of it. All right. He's getting better, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Paying the DAZN subscription is a bit of a scam at the minute when the big name fighters and championship fights end up on Riyadh season cards that are pay-per-view. Yeah, they're loving the pay-per-view model nowadays. In a good way, brother, and always enjoy the content. Keep up the fantastic work, mate. Mate, I appreciate that. Nick Ball definitely beat Raymond Ford. Yeah, I thought Nick Ball just did enough. I did. Raymond Ford definitely came back into it, but I didn't have really much of an issue with Nicky Ball winning it, to be fair. You couldn't pay me to watch Shakur Stevenson. It's tricky. It's not easy. It's not flipping easy. And as I said, I think in his whole career, I've maybe reviewed one of his fights. It's just so flipping hard to sit through a Shakur Stevenson. Especially, you see, I'd probably review one of his fights if I watched it live. But mate, I'm not staying up until 4 or 5 in the morning to watch Shakur Stevenson fight. No flipping way. No way. It ain't gonna happen. Big up to Absolute Boxing. How's it going, G-Man? Yeah, man, it's going pretty good. We're moving tomorrow. I'm trying to work on my consistency. Consistency is a key, man. It's a key, man. Need to get content out almost daily if you can. If there is no news, look for it. If there is no news to look for, think of something. I think Tank is a better technical boxer than Shakur. Shakur used his field to get out of range. His head movement isn't great. Interesting take. Yeah, Malik Scott ruined Wilder. What was the last ridiculous spin round punch? It got Wilder knocked out. If that happened, if that hadn't happened, the referee could have either disqualified him for turning his back. Wilder was done. Yeah, look, that move to Malik Scott, it was only done because, well, Mark Bernino wasn't a yes man. And Malik Scott, yes man, there you go. Happy days. Happy days for Malik Scott, but hey Jim, I got a prediction for you. They're planning Haney versus Benn. No, they aren't. Are they actually? Because I haven't heard that, but if they did that, why? We're supposed to be doing an interview today with a boxer with radio silence on his side. It happens, man. That's happened to me now, to be fair. I've always been lucky with boxers I've interviewed. They've always given me plenty of time. Well, I think Wilder is still A-okay with Mark Demore. Feel like there is less and less Matchroom and Queensbury shows now with all the main events going to Saudi. Yeah, it does sort of feel that way. Like it used to be a case of, Matchroom, Queensbury, week after week. Like, even if they weren't big shows, there was always something. Whereas now it's kind of like, ugh. That'd actually be a good show. Bentley Smith versus Yarde at Bournemouth. Problem is, though, like, Yarde would be the away fighter. Is he willing to be the away fighter? That's the thing. Is he willing to be it? Because Yarde, more so his team have that ego thing where it's like, we're the A side. You're not really, though. You're not really. Consistency is the key to every job. Showing up and grafting is half the game. True that, man. Listen, consistency has been pretty much the main thing for me on YouTube, on this platform. I like being one of the first to get the reviews out, the news out, give my thoughts on as much as I can. You could probably count, in the last, 2 months, you could probably count on one hand the amount of days I've missed an upload or not uploaded something. And for me, it's just a way of life now. It's a way of life, and it's a business as well. Like, I mean, obviously I get paid from YouTube. It makes me a nice little bit of income every month. So, man, it's a good thing. And just my life now. Did you hear about the surprise show in the Tree Arena, Callum Walsh headline? I did hear about it, but I haven't really looked into it too much. But I did hear there was a show announced for the Tree Arena, which I was kind of like, okay, that was a bit out of left field. But I did hear about it, but I can't say I've looked too much into it now, to be honest with you, mate. But Cody versus Wilder. Want to, man, you want to see Wilder get absolutely splattered. I truly feel Zhang Bakoli and many more fighters will beat Fury. He is declining rapidly. This is why you should live the life as a boxer. Well, it does, like, in reality, yeah. I mean, you look at Tyson Fury. When I seen him at that Usyk weigh-in, although he was lighter, I was like, his body looks messed up. Like, he's got muscle atrophy, I think is how you say it. You even see him against Wilder 4 years ago where he was heavier. You could see when he made him muscle, there was more definition there. He's a stone lighter and there's less. That's not right. He has, God only knows, he has mucked up his body something terrible. And I would say, yeah, you're probably right. Like, there are fighters out there who would look at Fury and you'd say, I'm having you. And you wouldn't necessarily pick them. Out of courtesy, who do you think is pound for pound top 10 right now? You see, I always said it. With me and pound for pound, I don't do it. I just think the whole concept is very abstract. I don't look at pound for pound rankings and think that's what I do. For me, the number 1, number 2, and number 3, you can have whatever order you want, or Usyk, Crawford, and anyway. They're the 3 best. Have them whatever order you want, I don't mind. But I don't get into rankings and this and that of pound for pound. It's very abstract for me, and it's never been something that I've really paid much attention to. I know who the 3 best fighters in the world are. I don't really care what order you have them in, to be honest with you. It's your preference, really. But they are the 3 best. My dad takes a long ass time, so daily videos will be hard. I'm off to Thailand in Feb for a month to train boxing. Nice one. Might try a new style of video then. Thailand for a month. Damn. It's going to be some good fun. I've never been. That's a good question, actually. Franklin. You've just kind of reminded me how bad the American scene is. That's actually really, really bad to think about it. And no disrespect to Jermaine Franklin, but yeah, you're probably right. Probably is. Message you about Taylor catch a rematch, about the health issues and how I enjoyed the videos. Still loving the videos. Haven't been in hospital for nearly 2.5 months. That's good to know, man. Everyone needs and deserves a clean bit of health. The longer you're out of hospital, the better, man. 2.5 months. Hopefully, the next time you're seeing it is for something good, not bad. And hopefully, when I mean that, I mean that's in a long time and it's some good news that you're going in for something which is nothing. That's good to know, man. 2.5 months. Let's make it 3. A while ago for Yarde, I would be picking Bill Smith to win that fight. I would. Apart from Zhang, who else would be a good fight for Bakoli? Oh, geez, to be a good few fights. Like, I wouldn't mind seeing him against Whyte, to be honest, which that'd be a very good scrap. I wouldn't mind seeing him against Joshua. Him against Usyk could be very fun. Him against, I was going to say Zhang, but him against Parker, that'd be real good. There's a lot of good fights for Bakoli to be in. A lot of them. And I only wanted to do a half hour, and I've gone actually over the half hour. So we'll do another couple of minutes before I call time. But you know what? I actually brought my flipping iPhone to read the comments, because obviously I read them from here and I read them on my iPhone. But I ended up just saying, right, we'll just put them all on screen. So now they're all on screen, and now I'm kind of just sitting with my iPhone like, it's pointless being there. If it did, I would be picking a new way, definitely. Gman, you're grinding videos out all the time. My favorite boxing channel on YouTube. Have a nice day. Boom. Thank you, mate. We get them out daily, man. Figure Camel Smith is done. Oh yeah, I'd say he is, to be fair. Why do you favor Wadley Clark fight? Or sorry, who do you favor? I think even though Clark had half the fights, Wadley lacked amateur experience, means he gains just as much experience from each fight at the moment. I think that Clark showed the experience, because Clark in that last round was even more fatigued than Fabio Wadley, but you would never have noticed it. I think Wadley has more gears to go through. I do. What's your opinion on Callum Walsh and other up-and-coming Irish prospects like Tommy Cowley, Tommy Whyte? I've not really seen many of them. There's very few Irish prospects that I would look at and say he's got something. Very few. Like, very flippin' few. I've seen a little bit of Conor Crowley, seen a little bit of Tommy Whyte. Meh. That's kind of how they're just meh. Callum Walsh I'll have another little look at, but Paddy Donovan is the only real guy that I look at and think, yeah, he's got something. The rest, I just look at and just think, yeah, the minute they step up, they are going to get lit up. The key for Piccoli is to stay active. He can't lose momentum. The problem is he lost momentum after the flipping Takam fight because he didn't fight until after that. It's gone under the radar, but like, you know, I've seen TJ Haney get dropped and beaten up by Mick Conlon. You know, so mate, come on. London is definitely up there, man. Definitely up there. Best of luck with the move, G. All the best from a subscriber living down in Glasnevin for work. Boom. Did you see Callum Walsh to be confirmed 3 Arena? Yeah, people ask me that. I only seen like literally a post about it, but I didn't delve too much into it. Do UFC promote any other boxers or events? Just seems an odd move. Do you remember a few years ago there was talk of Dana White coming into boxing? I think that was either just before or just after he flipping. I think it's before or just after McGregor fought Mayweather. Hey Gman, hope all is well. Hope you're doing well. How's your weekend been? It's been quiet to an extent. I went out with my friend for a drink last night. That's kind of the height of it. That's kind of the height of my adventures this weekend, man. Went for a drink with my friend last night, and yeah, we didn't do anything else pretty much after that. Just literally went for a drink, and that was that. Wait a minute. Did someone say, hang on before I read that? Only 3 likes? Really? 3 likes, 35 likes. Do you know what? I've been so good. I didn't ask for any likes. And you nearly gave me a heart attack. I was like, on 3 likes with 105 people in the building. If you could, I would greatly appreciate it if you smash the like button. And if you haven't already, do please consider it. Just hitting subscribe. Like, it literally takes 2 seconds just to hit subscribe. I'm just saying. How do you deal with a video that doesn't perform as well as others? Put one out about a matchup versus, or about Frosh Calzaghe and a nosedive on views. See, I don't really like, for me, most of my vids, at a very minimum, they hit 2K views, which I think is pretty decent. And nosedive in views, I can't really say I deal with it too much. And I know myself that if there ever is a video that's slow on the uptake, I kind of know the reasons why. Like, if it's a fighter that's not really being talked about. See, it's hard to kind of say because I kind of know what vids will do well and what won't. And if I ever do see a vid nosedive, I want to say nosedive, I mean just be a bit slower. I just kind of think, okay, might not have been the title, might not have been good enough or something like that. And then I look at other channels and I'm like, yeah, but they're not doing great either. So it's a kind of wider thing. He literally did. He was protected as hell. Me and Ade certainly, but there's no way in hell Hatman will do it. Doesn't need a camera, just the audio. I can't see him doing it. I can't see him doing it. You know, Hatman's been good to me, but I cannot see him doing it. He has, and as well as that, you know, time difference. Because I know where Hatman is. I know where he lives. But, well, I don't know exactly where he is, but I know where he's based. And time-wise, that would be tricky. That would be tricky to do. So that's probably one that won't happen. Me and Ade, though, yeah, we can do that. But Hatman, unlikely. People, I said I'd go live for a half hour, and I've ended up going for nearly 40 minutes. So I'm going to call it there. I'm going to call it quits on the live just there. People, last live, I'm hoping not for a while. I'm hoping we'll do another one soon enough. Regardless, we will do a live watch along for Joshua versus Dubois. So we'll make sure that, I'm hoping that won't be the next live. I'm hoping we'll get one in before then. But likelihood is, depending on how things go, that might be the next live we do. But we'll try and get one in before then. But for now, I'll leave it there. we will hit the 40-minute mark. Lads, you'll get some vids tomorrow in this environment, but after tomorrow, it's going to be different. It's going to be different for the foreseeable future, but we're looking forward to it. I'll leave it there, people. I hope you all enjoyed the live. Nice little Sunday live to kill the weekend off. And lads, I'll chat to you tomorrow from a new location. Peace.